Hi guys, so today we're taking a question on a vibration in a closed pipe. Vibration on a closed pipe. So the question says, which of these following statements is true for the mode of vibration associated with a cylindrical pipe that is open at one end and closed at the other end? I go again. It says, which of these following statements is true for a mode of vibration associated with a cylindrical pipe that is open at one end and closed at the other end? The options are the open pipe end always constitutes a node of a standing wave. B, only even harmonics are present. C, both even and odd harmonics are present. D, only odd harmonics are present. So, but before I continue, please welcome to Concept Mastering. Like my videos, comment and subscribe to get more questions on this topic. So now the question asking about a question on a closed pipe. On a closed pipe. This question is very simple, but it's also tricky. Now the thing is that if you don't know what is a closed pipe, now you can't answer this question. A closed pipe is just a pipe that is open at one end and closed at the other end. And they're now saying, like, what is the mode of vibration? Like when a vibration is sent into this closed pipe, what kind of harmonics isn't going to occur? Like what kind of harmonics will be able to occur in the closed pipe? Now let me give you a diagram of what a closed pipe is. This is it here. This is it here now. At this point here, it is closed at here and it is open at here. And this is only the lowest vibration, the lowest vibration you can have in a closed pipe. As we always know, the point where they meet is always our node. And the point where it's open, like wide, is called the antinode. Now, the question is asking what kind of harmonies are you going to, what kind of harmony is it odd or even, or is it the both? So that's what the question is now, but we don't know. Now the thing is here now, we all know that from our node to our antinode is actually lambda divided by 4, that is quarter of lambda. From here to here is quarter of lambda, and then this is the lowest vibration you can get in a closed pipe. So to get the length of this, it's actually your L equals to lambda all over 4. When you make your lambda the subject of a formula, you have lambda is equals to 4L. Therefore, from our wave equation, you know that our F is actually equals to V all over lambda. Therefore, our F, which is the frequency, will be V divided by 4L. Like when you substitute your lambda equals to 4L in here, you're going to have your V is equals to 4L, and this is your first harmonics in a closed pipe. Now, you can see in the first vibration, we can have there's possibility that yes, the vibration is going to occur in the first one. Let's check if it's going to happen in the second one, in the second harmonics. Let's check for second harmonics. Now, our second harmonics, this is what we're going to have. You have something like this, exactly, and like this. So here is your node, here is your antinode, and here is your node. Exactly. Now watch very well now. Now in this kind of vibration, it cannot occur. Why? Because a closed pipe, they say that a closed pipe is only a pipe that is open at one end and close in the other end. Now if you look at this diagram now, it is closed at here and it is closed at here. So that means your second harmonics in a closed pipe cannot occur because it does not satisfy it does not prove that definition of a closed pipe. So that means what that tells you, it tells you that even numbers, there be even numbers of harmonics cannot occur. Even harmonics cannot occur. That's what you really mean, because if in your second harmonics it is closed at here, it means also that when you have your fourth or your sixth is always closed. That means only even numbers cannot occur. So for us to make it open, you have to open it again. Exactly. Now at this point now, it is now closed at one end and open at one end. And here is you always know that the place where there is vibration, it is open, is always your antinode. Now this one now is now at this diagram now, as I open it like this, it means this is your third harmonics. Your third harmonics. This is how I do it now. From here to here is your first. From here to here is your second. From here to here is your third. That's how I do it. Now we did the first one, which is your node to antinode. Yes, it's possible we are going to have for first harmonics that this is the lowest one you're going to have. But for the second one, we realize that you cannot have the second harmonics. Why? Because in a closed pipe, you cannot have an even number because it's always open at one end and open at one end and close at the other end. But if you use your second harmonics here, it will not prove that. So therefore, even numbers cannot occur, only odd numbers. So that's why we now open it again. We now have our third harmonics, and that's actually proof that only odd numbers can actually occur in a closed pipe. Now to get the length of this now, to get the length of this, it's still the same way we naturally get it. For your node to antinode or antinode to node is always quarter of your lambda. And how many places do we have it? From here to here is 1, from here to here is 2, from here to here is 3. Then you just have quarter of your lambda in 3 places. That means your length is equals to 3 lambda, 3 times your lambda all over 4. 3 times your lambda all over 4. Yes. And when you make your lambda the subject of the formula, you have your 4L is equals to 3. Substitute this, you still have our normal wavelength equation, which is V all over lambda. When you substitute your lambda equals to 4L all over 3, you have your V will be equals to 4L all over 3. As usual mathematics, when something is under your denominator, it will go up to the numerator. That means you have your F is equals to 3V all over 4L. Exactly. And this is actually, this formula is you use it for our third harmonics. Our third harmonics in a closed pipe. So now, from what we have already explained to you guys now, back to the questions. Like they said, the open end always constitutes an odd. The open end always constitutes a node of a standing wave. That one is out already. No, that one is out. Only even harmonics are present. You already do it here. Even harmonics cannot occur. It's not possible because in a closed pipe, it's always open at one end and closed at the other end. And I even do the second harmonics, which is actually even one. You see, when we did the second one, it was closed. It was closed. Let me draw the second harmonics separate for you guys. Yeah, exactly. So this is actually one. You cannot have something like this. You can't have something like this. It has to open like this. The way this one is open, the way this one is open. This is your first harmonics. in a closed pipe. This is your second, but you cannot have second. You cannot have anything even harmonics, because if you have it, it's going to close, and for a closed pipe, you always open at one end and close at the other end. So that means only odd numbers, only odd harmonics can occur. This is 1 and this is 3. If you even do the fourth one, you see that it's going to be the same. The fourth one is just when we close this one again. Now if you close this one here, it's going to give us our fourth harmonics, but we can't have fourth harmonics. Why? Because closed pipe is always opened at one end and closed at the other end. So that is very simple. Now that means question B is out of the question. Question B is out. Now this question C now says both even and odd harmonics are present. Both even and odd, both of them cannot occur. So that this option is actually out. Then D now said only odd harmonics are present. Only odd harmonics are present, which is virtually correct. This is the first and this is the third. We cannot have second, we cannot have fourth, we cannot have sixth. So that is the answer to the question. The answer to this question is actually D. Only odd harmonics are present. This is the kind of question you're going to see in your various exams. Expect this kind of questions and try to know. I've already explained what a closed pipe is. What a closed pipe is. So try to solve one more question so that you can be able to answer it when you encounter it in your exam. I also have another next question here. This is another question, but here's another next question here, but I'll be solving it in my next video. So subscribe if you want to get the solution to this question. Just subscribe and like my videos to get the solution to this next question here. So thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.